the vritti, also all the discussions, if you just take the sutras, doesn't become clear. There always is a question, what is the difference between the asiddham of purvata siddham and asiddhavat of asiddhavat atrabhat?
Maybe asiddham's a few of the characteristics it's collects. That's why asiddhavat he has used.
It doesn't, believe me, doesn't work.
Doesn't work like that.
Then asiddha. So asiddha, asiddham, asiddhavat. What is asiddha? Not in a domain. It's a very small place. And then the question, why does he put it there? He could have put it elsewhere.
Now only questions of this asiddham you are going to do tomorrow or today, sir?
Not today.
Not today, okay. Because it's a very big topic.
Because it will be.
Yeah, it will be a very big topic.
And I also want to discuss something about the doubling, etc., and the Angatikar and the Angakarya and the whatever little time we have. Basically, I want to apprise you of the operations. Now is the time when we must talk about or go beyond, as Nagesha says, Prakriti Pratyaya Vibhaga Kalpana. Then he talks about the Agama, Lopa and Vikara, etc., etc. This is the place where he talks about the Agama, the Lopa, Vikara, sticks in Samprasarana and all that. And to top it all, Asiddham. And Asiddham it took me something like 2-3 months to, if you get a chance, go look at the Purvatra Siddham.
See, Purvatra Siddham commentary I have tried to read in so many different books. Say Bhattaji, then again you got Kashika, or even not Mahabhashya, of course, other than Mahabhashya, many other people have discussed Purvatra Siddham.
Modern ones
Modern ones is
I know broadcast and then some people, okay, they may have interpreted certain
Tasya lekhane mama shraddha nasti.
No. I wanted to look at traditional
Yes,
scholars who know India's work here and who have learned
Especially his Paribhasha works.
Oh, I see. Asiddham Bahiranga Mantra.
Especially his Paribhasha works. Every time I read that thing, this is the reason, but I went against my own principle and read Brankast. Because I met with him somewhere, and then he probably said that please read it, etc., etc., please write something about it. I said I cannot write. I know myself. If I get into that, I'll spend 2-3 months, and who knows, I will be just writing a devastating review. That's why in my life, long life of scholarship, I have written only 2-3 reviews, and they are all very bad reviews. So, besides, I don't have 3 months to devote to Brankast. This is the reason why I don't read English. But I have read Joshi's Mahabhashya.
It's in English, sir?
Yeah, in English.
Okay,
But
I only know English, only Keelhaun is.
I have been closely associated with George Cardona.
Okay.
I have not written any review of him, although I was asked to. I didn't. Because I fear myself.
The full Mahabhashyam Joshi has written.
Joshi's Mahabhashya I have read.
Fragmentary.
Oh,
But it's quite extensive. You can understand Joshi's mind, what he is talking about and where he is trying to get you, where is he trying to get the Mahabhashya and the Kara and Katyayana, etc. Sometimes, I hate to say, he is confusing.
He means Joshi or Vartikara?
Joshi. Vartikara and Bhashyakara.
No, I think he says that is here Vartikara did not understand Pāṇini or Bhashyakara did not understand.
I don't have the guts to say this because I must be respectful to the Bhashya and the Katyayana. Because think about that. What kind of intelligent people they were who spent their whole life at writing this thing, you know. You have to have some respect for them.
not only that, sir, they were all immersed in Sanskrit. Unlike,
So I don't say anything about S.D. Joshi because S.D. Joshi, I consider him an Acharya. Only an Acharya could open his mouth like that. But, I mean, I have a question. Ever since I had read Joshi's paper way back when I was doing my PhD, Karikalam Sangya Paribhasham, Yasodesham Sangya Paribhasham, I read the paper. And, no. I have read tons of materials on Yasodesham Sangya Paribhasham, Karikalam Sangya Paribhasham. You must have read. You go and read. And then I will give you my paper which I did for the Sharangi volume. And you make your mind. So they have not explained what Yasodesha is. And lastly, with all due respect to the tradition says that you can derive a word with the application of Yasodesha alone. No. As I claim that Pāṇini doesn't derive padas, he derives sentences in which the padas occur. So why does he derive padas? It's a strategic decision he makes. That's it, plain and simple. I think I have written in this first volume. There are many things in the first volume which I still stand by. There are many, many things which I wouldn't write like that. So anyway, Joshi was a great man.
I think he says some underlying structure, underlying syntax.
Yeah, I said that the deep structure of the transcript, this was under the influence of Kiparsky. Because Kiparsky came to Joshi and started studying Sanskrit with them. And all those instances of Pāṇini as a variationist, and I don't like Joshi's acceptance of those 4 levels at which the variation is like a stratification of the Sanskrit language indicated by the Va, Vibhasha, Anyatarasya. But the story of option doesn't go just like that. There is also option in the name of the Acharya.
Yeah.
That's also Vibhasha, Kashyapasya, Galavasya, etc., etc. That's also Vibhasha. So Acharya Nema also gives you the option. the negation of obligatory provision can also qualify for an option. So there are so many. I wrote a very long review of Pāṇini as a very smith. So it was under the influence of Kiparsky that Joshi got swayed. Besides, Joshi is Harvard.
Harvard.
Yeah, that's where he went. Because the only good thing that Joshi did was he stayed in India.
Stayed in India? Exactly.
That means he didn't live in the United States forever. I did. Joshi came back. I didn't. But I would say if I had not stayed in the United States, I would not have gotten the rigor of study that I got to my Pāṇini studies. Also, I would not have gotten enough time to devote. I would have been much more involved with the bread butter issues than
in India.
Yeah, in India. So in a way that was good.
So Joshi's compromises, could it be because of the pressures from Harvard scholarship?
I don't know. I don't know. But see, my oppositions to these things, like on the Yathodesha and everything, is, I think, its opposition is to the traditional interpretations itself. They have not explained it enough. It's always the underestimation or under-application of the Yathodesha and Karika. So, why does it have to be either or? That's my question. Why either Yasodesha or Karikala? No.
It could be both. One could start the other.
Yeah. So these are complementary. Especially when in the Karikala situation you say that Yasodesha samskara have to be brought over to the context of the Karikala. So, but I mean, tad ekam acharyasya mangalartham vishyatam or whatever, Joshi has contributed a great deal towards understanding Pāṇini via Patanjali, especially with the interpretations of the terms that he uses. Of course, those are the Bhashya terms, expressions. I mean, it's not like someone who's on Shahipura. He must have seen that because he was the supervisor of that thesis, which was published as a book. But he did an excellent job. Also, I think he as well as Abhyanga, they suffer from the general, I wouldn't say weakness, but that there is a certain level of competence that you must bring to the Mahabhashya when you go and study Mahabhashya. If you don't have that level of competence, you better not come here, or you're not qualified. So, I try to explain each and every word, of course in English, but sticking with the traditions. and I don't draw inferences. I'm no acharya enough. So, but I have learnt a lot from Joshi, reading the Mahabharata. But I have learnt a lot from about the Mahabharata from the Paspashanika. The first three Ahnikas, 1, 2, 3.
Beautiful. Yes. Ashwashanika itself is a wonder.
Yeah.
After that, the next three also are very.
So I have started putting together my notes on the Paspashanika when I studied it. And then pretty soon I'll have an edition of Paspashanika with copious notes. And because that's one work I want to do. Other than that, your questions, ask me.
Sir, Pāṇini composed the text. Pāṇini, but one after another.
I use the word formulated.
Okay, formulated. But now, Parag Divyaton, this is first sutra. First means okay in the order. Tena Divyati Khanati Jayati Jitam, it comes maybe 100 sutras later comes. But now when Pāṇini composes Pragdivyaton, how he has that Tena Divyati Khanati Jayati Jitam in his mind?
So that he puts it as a limit of that.
Okay. So otherwise, so first he has maybe roughly he has written all the sutras.
Prag X and.
Yeah.
Then he went on writing.
Then DVT is added.
But if you go to the tradition, they will say he saw everything one. Time is not there. No?
Yeah, yes.
That's why he's Maharshi. We still call him as Rishi Pāṇini.
See, that's why Bloomfield calls it the greatest monument of human intelligence.
That's
what
the
is
best
the greatest monuments of human intelligence? And the most complete grammar of any language written ever.
There are so many such instances. This Prakritarcha.
Yes.
So many.
Many.
And sometimes also, as it says, Asiddhavat Rabhat.
Yeah, Pāṇini was blessed with a computer in his brain.
Okay. So only a
But anyway, in the short, you can say that he had jotted it down something, and that's why it is setting the limit of An up to Divyati is indicated by Prag, Divyato, Ana. So that means whatever was going to be covered within that, he must have had determined what is going to be in that. Yeah. How did he determine?
Sir, we have to, one way of finding something out, of course they are very much later, like your this Katantra Vyakarana, or of course this one, and then you have the Chandra. But that, is it available? Katantra, some text is available.
Chandra also
is available, right? Then you have got one more, the Saraswata Vyakarana.
There are many, sir. There are many Vyakarana.
Chandra is very, very much available.
Oh,
I studied.
I knew Katantra is available and Saraswata is available. Of course, Mugdhaboda. That is very simple. For as the name goes, it is meant for.
Yeah.
But all these.
No, even in that.
Some of them use Pāṇini's terms. Some of them don't. They have
Chandra is used in Pāṇini most of the time.
That means later.
When it comes to Pragyati or Pragdivya, so on, you have to note also the use of Prag. Prag, Divyati, Jayati, Khanati, Jitam. But you also have to take Akadara, Eka, Sangya. And then you go to, in the language sentences, Apataliputra Vishnu Deva.
Apataliputra Vishnu Deva.
Apataliputra Vishnu Deva, if you said that it rained all the way to Pataliputra, whether that up to includes Pataliputra or excludes Pataliputra,
Yes.
that's the question.
Yeah, correct.
Pataliputra Vishnu Deva. So,
And Kashika gives this very beautifully.
yeah, there are examples,
Excellent.
but that's the confusion. And that's of consequence. Apataliputra Vishnu Deva. Whether it is the Avadhi without Pataliputra or it is with Pataliputra. So it also, it rained up to the periphery of Pataliputra, not in Pataliputra.
Sir, one more question. See, where Pāṇini Namadas Bharati, some many grammarians, they were his predecessors or contemporaries? See, Galava, Gargya, Shagara.
I don't think they were his contemporaries.
They were all previous. That means he is giving them, he is naming them. Then why he has never brought in that what he has got from...
Maybe he must have been influenced most by them.
Not even
When he says Galavasya, he means that among all those who have done that, I accept what Galava said.
Okay.
So
what about, is there any Vyakarana that was influenced by Ainga?
nothing is available.
No.
You get the Samgraha,
Vyadi Sampradaya is available?
Chandra is available.
I don't think it was the highest number of Purabha. Excellent, it had been.
I don't think any Java prior to Pāṇini is available.
That would have been a great thing, sir. Vyadi and Pāṇini are very close.
Yeah.
He was his Matula.
Does he mention Vyadi?
Doesn't, but I don't know how the tradition does. That's all.
I think Paspashanike Yadlumbara Parnanam Kundalinam
Vyadi.
Tatra Ayam Shlokaha यदि श्लोकाः प्रमाणं श्लोकाः
चेत् प्रमत्तगीतमपि प्रमाणमेव
प्रमत्तगीत एषः तत्र अयं श्लोकः व्याडिसङ्ग्रहे अस्ति इति वा कैयटे वा कुत्रापि व्याडिग्रन्थः
Okay.
There is so much information that comes your way from Kayata and from Nagesha. By the way, I like Kayata. I dread
You dread Nagesha?
Yes, I
but
dread.
Nagesha is highly respected in Vyakana school.
And this is the reason why I don't like Haradatta as much as I like Jinendra Buddhi.
But sir, Haradatta, I have got liking for him. I don't know why. Yes, Jinendra Buddhi, as you said, is very clean and simple.
It doesn't mean that Jinendra Buddhi doesn't make mistakes.
Not because of mistakes, sir. My question is did Haradatta contribute to explication of Kashika? That is the
I find the Bhashya much better than Haradatta.
Which one?
In Kashika, understanding Kashika, I find the Bhashya explanations better than.
Which one, sir? This,
but Bhashya is not available on every sutra. So, Haradatta...
No, it's not.
No, he collects Bhashya also, no? Haradatta takes the
Yeah,
virtues.
it's a Nagesha and Kayata. I like Nagesha and Kayata better than Haradatta.
Oh, yes, yes.
I don't know. That is.
Now, Haradatta, Kayata, who is prior or who is later, we don't know, but there is a lot of copy pasting.
Copy pasting.
The Kayata is earlier than
But some people say Haradatta.
no, not Haradatta. Haradatta is subsequent too. Haradatta is later than Kayata.
Jinendra Prabhuji is there.
Yeah, because
Jinendra Buddhi must be earlier. That is
Jinendra Buddhi is earlier because Nyasa
Is
is plain.
is two. Kayata and Haradatta. Some people say Haradatta is before.
when this Kashika Vritti is published, you will see that most of my notes are from Jinendra. Although I take certain things from Haradatta also. For example, certain histories, interpretations, then the problem is that many of the things they don't say, explain that, hey look, this is what it is.
I don't know, my teacher used to like Haradatta very much.
I see.
My teacher, N.T. Srinivasa Iyengar, he used to say that Haradatta Harikyena Varyate. He is really Simhagarjana.
Yeah.
He used to take it like that. And I was not, generally I find, South maybe many people like Haradatta.
No, I don't think
Not many, Jinendra Buddhi is highly preferred. But Jinendra Buddhi is, as Sir says, he is very clean and clear.
Yeah.
That is definitely. It is
And
very
as
smooth
far
to read
as,
Jinendra.
As far as Haradatta Harikyena Varyate statement is concerned, I don't think he was egotistic or he was bombastic.
But he was, he was not bombastic.
It was his
He is good
Swabhimana.
Karmakandi, sir. Haradatta was a great expert on Karmakanda. He has written wonderful Vyakhyana of, what is that called?
Nikakshara.
No, not Nikakshara. He has written a beautiful on Egamnikanda. Beautiful Vyakhyana Haradatta has written. And then he has written a lot of books on Griha Sutras and all that.
So I consider that as something like, except for Pandita Jagannatha, even though I am, very fond of Pandita Raja.
But he, Manorama
But
he is unnecessarily excessive.
I mean, he has lowered himself to this stage of garbage or something like that, which I didn't like. But Haradatta, yes, I asked my father once, who is the greatest living Sanskritist on earth?
Oh, living.
Yeah.
Living.
Who is the greatest living Sanskritist on earth? So he said, you're talking with him, let's move on.
That was great.
So this question which you raised, that question must have been prompted by some other question which you may have. So that's why he said, let's move on. But he answered, who is the greatest living scientist on earth, then he said, you're talking with him. Let's move on. In Hindi, it's just great. तुम उससे बात कर रहे हो, आगे बढ़ो.
It takes 2 seconds to say, oh
Yeah,
my.
right. तुम उससे बात कर रहे हो, आगे बढ़ो.
But if you look at Ambakatri Vyakhyas, you really.
So, but later on he said, eyes full of tears, saying, this was one of the emotional moments for him. I have seen him in so many moods. So he will say, he said, you know what it means? It's not the abhimana or durabhimana, it's the swabhimana. I studied with my Pitaji and oh, did I did study. That's where he stopped. He didn't add, this is why I can say I am the greatest living Sanskritist. So Haradatta, Harihi, well done. Viharan Varyate. Yes, I can accept Haradatta.
So I want to read, after you are saying, I want to really delve into Haradatta. Because my teacher used to find him very interesting.
Yeah, I once asked him how was my grandfather? What kind of scholar he was? Because I was a year old when he passed on. So he said he was 100 times better scholar than me.
That was great. That says it
So
all.
I said, whatever little I know of Sanskrit, I cannot imagine what could be 100 times better than you. So he said, that's your Moha which is speaking. And then I said, what are you doing? There are so many anecdotal things. Like I went back to my diary. I used to write these things because at the age of 14, somehow or the other, I was really moved by this feeling that, oh, what a great father I have. So that really, I became really inquiring how he talks, what kind of students he has, what does he teach to those students. I would be sitting there for 4 or 5 hours where students will go, come, etc. This Chandogya Upanishad thing, and there are 3 phases of truth, rather 4. There was a Swami Govinda Prakasha, he was a Mahamandaleshwara. If you go to Mussoorie, after Dehradun, the first bend, after the first bend, you will see an ashrama. That's the ashrama of Mahamandaleshwara Govinda Prakasha. So Govinda Prakasha was studying the Chandogya Upanishad with my father. And there was another student, Markandeya, who was sitting there and he was waiting for his turn. After Govinda Prakasha leaves, he will get on to the Vyakarana. And he had been studying the Vyakarana Mahabhashya and failing the Acharya last year for the last 2-3 years.
Oof.
So he was 50-ish and all kinds of things. So, and I was just sitting there. I wouldn't speak, I would just, I was told not to speak and not to laugh. By that time, I was trained not to laugh. Govinda Prakash was studying, and on that Bhagavam Charanti Vaicharani Yogani Swam Alabhe, Govinda Prakash, no, my father said that, she didn't say. Yet she said, or something like that. I have written that in my diary because of the Satya thing. For me, this was not important whether she was telling the truth or not telling the truth, but this idea of Satya having 3 faces and approaching the Satya from his back in order for understanding the true face of truth. So then Markandeya, he said, Guruji wo jhoot bol rahi thi. She was telling a lie. She was not telling the truth. Something like that. So my father looked at him, gave him a stern eye, and then said something which I didn't understand much. This was in Sanskrit, so I must have been something like 14 years old. So after Govinda Prakash, when my father started explaining things to her, giving him his third eye, etc., and he kept going. Then Govinda Prakash, he quietly stood up, did the pranama, left. Then 5-10 minutes later, my father, all collected, calm, nothing showing, said, Markandeji, aiye, you come, now your turn. And my younger brother, who was standing, was there. So he said, oh, my father has told him that you're a Gadha, or Gadhero or something like that. You don't understand. So Markandeya felt really bad that Guruji is calling me a donkey, Gadha. So my father said, are you Markandeji? So he said, Guruji, मैं गधा नहीं हूँ, लेकिन आप मुझे गधा कह रहे हैं. So you're calling me a donkey, but I am not a donkey. So my father smiled. He said, no, I am not calling you a donkey. I am simply explaining you the over-application. Over-application. You are not a donkey, but I am calling you a donkey. That is. Yeah. I have written all these things, and there are notes on grammar, and there were. So there was. He was teaching me Bhakti Viveka. Can you imagine 16-year-old studying Bhakti Viveka? No, you can't study. That is on the curriculum for me. But no, there are some certain things you can be. You can have a lot of samskara just by listening to whatever class is going on. This is the Nyaya, Vyakarana. So yes, the Abhimana and Swabhimana. Swabhimana, you must have Swabhimana. Anadatta must have the Swabhimana. He has spent his whole life on this thing. So why can he not say that, yes, that's me? He was vocal.
I don't know, Haradatta has made any kavya, but then on Karmakanda and many other Vedas, he has
Oh yes, he has. He has.
After looking at this verse, Apastamba Sutra, he has got the full Griha Sutra, he is the commentator.
See, that's the thing, that kind of scholarship, it was holistic scholarship, which we don't have.
Even Varadaraja also supposed to have written about Karmakanda.
Yeah, that's what a scholar does. That's what an acharya does.